So if you can have a guy that's in the audience that's yelling, I shot him, now shoot me, I shot him, now shoot me, and then that guy gets arrested for child charges, like what's going on here?
But there was something else going on. Epstein was not some sort of whiz kid hedge fund manager. Epstein was playing a part. Epstein was a LARPer. Epstein was cast for a specific role, and he played it really well.
I don't believe this kid right now could possibly be
I don't necessarily think they know what's going on yet. There's a lot of weird going on with this.
I know.
None of these things make any sense to me. Like, you're telling me that this kid who's not military trained, this guy, first of all, how did he get to the roof? How come nobody was looking? How come nobody was like, there's a direct line of sight between where he's sitting and those roofs? You guys didn't check? You don't have a drone? Like, that's insane. So he's on the roof. He jumps from the roof. He jumps down 14 feet.
Charlie Kirk's death seems anything but random. Many suspect it was deliberately orchestrated. Joe Rogan suggested what once looked like a tragic accident has turned into one of the most mysterious and suspicious events of the year. His comments only intensified speculation, particularly regarding Charlie's widow and the strange aftermath that followed his passing.
Thing is a coincidence. Hold on to that thought. Did you know that Charlie Kirk's father, Robert W. Kirk, was actually the architect for Trump Towers? Also, did you know that Erica Lane Kirk won Miss Arizona USA in 2012? Don't forget, Donald Trump ran Miss America from 1996 until 2015. Seeing the correlation here? Now, I'm not saying age difference is a big thing, but did you know Erica was 5 years Charlie Sr.? But this is where coincidences aren't coincidences. People, this was so arranged. And there's so much more to Erica Kirk. Kind of like how she was all into basketball, didn't want to be all girly, never liked to dress up, even cut all her hair off, and ended up being Miss USA. How does that happen? How do you go from sports to Miss USA? And then they meet at a Turning Point event in 2018, where she's interviewing for a job for Turning Point.
It began when Rogan brought up the case on his podcast, claiming the official account didn't add up. He highlighted odd details left out of major reports, such as a photo of the supposed suspect, a 22-year-old man seen holding what appeared to be a scope hunting rifle. Rogan noted the gun looked unusually new and sophisticated for the circumstances described.
I almost texted you when the Charlie Kirk thing happened because my antennas went up about, they showed the photo of that kid, the guy that they have, the 22-year-old,
Yeah.
whatever. And I was almost going to be like, dude, that, you think he's got the capability to do that?
Yeah, well, listen, there are people that look like that have the capability to do that.
Pretty
yes.
accurate.
Nope.
No?
Not hard. Not hard
Not
at all.
hard.
Let me dispel that.
Okay.
Okay. 200 yards from a prone position with a dead-on rifle. So if you have a dead-on rifle, so you set this rifle, you set your 0 to 200 yards, right? You know how far you're going to shoot. It is not hard at all.
If he shot a lot?
You don't have to shoot a lot. I could do it tomorrow.
If you're no, but you are experienced. If it's someone that's never shot, could they do it?
100%. Not
Really?
if they've never shot. They wouldn't know where to look. They'd have a hard time acquiring the like when you look through a scope, like with the reticle is weird. Like it's sometimes
Takes a minute.
You got to know the distance that you have to be from it to really line it up in your sights. But you could get a guy like my friend Andy Stump, who's a sniper in the SEALs. You could get him, and he could show you how to do it in an afternoon, and then you could hit steel at 200 yards every time you pull the
One
trigger.
day you can learn.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Not that hard.
Because it feels insane. I'm like, that
No.
seems tough.
It seems tough. We still haven't figured out whether or not the gun that Trump had a sight on it. Because we weren't sure if it had a sight on it or if this guy was using iron sights. That was 140 yards. If you shot with iron sights, that's a lot harder. Because iron sights is you're lining up. So you have these two things in the back and there's one thing at the front of the barrel. And
Right.
you got to line those up perfectly. And that's how you stay accurate. That is a lot harder to do.
It's like old have those, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Pistols.
Yeah,
Like
pistols,
you buy a
yeah.
Glock, that's what it is.
Right.
But this kid had a rifle with a scope. Now here's where it gets weird. The first images of this rifle with a scope, I swear to God, it looks like he has a composite stock on it. Like it looks like a modern 30-06 rifle. So a 30-06, so that's the rifle. 30-06 is like, that looks like a very modern looking stock. I mean, it might not be. It might be just a bad resolution. It might be wood. It's hard to tell. But if you showed me that and you said, hey, this is my cousin's rifle. Is this any good? I'd be like, looks like a standard bolt-action rifle. Looked like a sophisticated modern scope on it. Sure. Now, apparently, the narrative is that this is his grandfather's rifle from World War I and doesn't have a serial code. Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. Why? Wait.
There was also an older, visibly upset man who started shouting right after the event, reportedly declaring, "I did it," before bizarrely removing his pants and adding to the confusion at the scene.
First of all, there was that one guy who was the decoy. All right, so you got this guy who's an older guy who starts yelling out. Didn't he take his pants down? Took his pants down? This guy was at 9/11. He was at the Boston bombing. He called in a fake bomb at another place. And then he did this at this thing. Right after, so somehow or another, this guy has the state of mind that the moment someone gets shot, he yells out and says, I did it, and takes his pants down or something like that. I don't know exactly what he did. Then, ready for this? He gets arrested for child right away.
Right after this happened?
Oh, right away. He's in jail for child. Why is that? Well, now you can't interview him.
Right, he's getting right.
Right, and because when the internet people start going, how are you at all these different things? Like, what are the odds? Like, if someone ran it through one of the ChatGPT and Perplexity things, like, what are the odds that this guy would be at all those different events and be involved? Like, 0.
This is the guy?
Yeah.
I just like that the pants down part is just insane. It's like, why is your
I did it. I'm not saying this guy isn't insane. He's clearly insane. Yeah. Or not. Or he's professional insane.
To Rogan, these moments weren't just odd. They formed a suspiciously tidy sequence of events, seemingly arranged to cover up whoever was truly behind it.
That's the other thing. They said that he took it apart and then put it back together again. Shut the fuck up. Do you know how much time it would take to do that if you were highly skilled?
To disassemble a gun.
To disassemble a rifle so you can get it in a backpack. And by the way, not going to fit. Not going to fit. And then somehow or another reconnects it once he gets off the roof. What? What's that about?
Is that what they pitched, huh?
Yeah. And then he's supposed to get it in that stupid backpack. It's literally, it makes no sense.
And the elevator music is a nice touch, by the way.
Yeah. So this is just a narrative, right? We watch a guy jump off the roof, and then we supposedly find this rifle. So if you can have a guy that's in the audience that's yelling, I shoot him, now shoot me, I shoot him, now shoot me, and then that guy gets arrested for child charges, like what is going on here? And then you find this rifle, and then you say, oh, he assembled it and he reassembled it, like, okay. If I wish I was a cop, I'd sit there and be like, this story is working.
A short video of Rogan's comments went viral almost immediately. Elon Musk, tagged in the post, added one of his trademark cryptic remarks, "The truth doesn't stay buried." That single sentence ignited a frenzy online. Within hours, people were analyzing Rogan's segment frame by frame, trying to connect Musk's words to whatever Rogan might actually know.
The more they keep looking into it, the more they're like, this doesn't feel like a real... It feels super fabricated.
But here's the thing. Just like I was talking about when people are arguing on social media, it's all part of the plan. If you want things to be...
Oh, I wanted it so bad.
If you want people to lose all faith that anyone is going to solve anything, you add a bunch of... If you're going to kill a guy, you add a bunch of other wacky that doesn't make any sense, and you spam it out there at the same time. You leave a guy that didn't do it out in the woods. You do a bunch of like that.
You have an old man put his dick out and yell, I did it, I did it.
Yeah, you get some kid who has a boyfriend who's a furry, and you talk to him on Discord.
As the clip spread rapidly online, conspiracy theories exploded across social media. People began questioning why two major public figures, Joe Rogan and Elon Musk, were suddenly discussing a case many believed had long been resolved. Was it coincidence? Or were they signaling something deeper? Then things became even more bizarre. Musk started liking posts from commentator Candace Owens, who had previously accused the media of hiding crucial facts about Charlie Kirk's death. Within hours, hashtags about Charlie's widow were trending, and online forums buzzed with speculation. Many became convinced that Rogan and Musk knew more than they were admitting. Even mainstream outlets jumped in, pretending to debunk the claims while actually feeding public curiosity. When Rogan's full podcast finally aired, the tone shifted from mild curiosity to outright suspicion. He wasn't just noting inconsistencies anymore, he stated bluntly that too much didn't add up. He listed red flags: the weapon, the odd timeline, the suspect's strange behavior, and the investigator's secrecy. Rogan even joked that if this were a movie, no one would buy the script.
Sickening is definitely the right adjective, I think, to describe how a lot of us are feeling. And all I know how to do is to gather information, to research, and to investigate. And nothing is making sense. Now, it could not be making sense because we've not arrived at the conclusion. The FBI, I will say, has recently come out and said they're looking for another person. Good, because what we have so far obviously cannot be it. I feel I was insisting that everybody read that book, Chaos, about the Charles Manson murders. And what we learn from that book is that if the government does want to hide something, what they do is they give you so much information that you don't even know what's real. So many different possible ways that things could have gone down, so many different manners, so many people speaking, so many publications publishing. And it's just meant to be chaotic, to drive you crazy and to just go, okay, I'm just going to accept whenever the authority says something and not prod any further. We can't allow that to happen here. I won't allow that to happen here because something terrible has traumatized the world, okay? And I feel as though when it comes to this, the media, the government, the talking heads, everyone is confusing us about what actually took place with Charlie Kirk, this event, how it got set up. I even would like to know who picked the venue, okay?
Owens later went live again, claiming during her stream that Charlie had begun exploring and speaking about issues that made the US government and its allies uneasy. She hinted that his curiosity and outspoken nature were viewed as a potential danger to those in power.
Examine Charlie in his own words. You're starting to talk about topics that you're not really allowed to talk about when you take money and big checks are being written. That pressure was increasing every single day. In fact, he was telling the truth even about Jeffrey Epstein. Take a listen.
Epstein, with his little friend Ghislaine and Ghislaine's father, Robert Maxwell, who's obviously a spy of the Israeli intelligence agencies, that there was something else going on. Epstein was not some sort of whiz-kid hedge fund manager. Epstein was playing a part. Epstein was a LARPer. Epstein was cast for a specific role, and he played it really well. The sweatpants and the Harvard jacket, the kind of disheveled hair, looking as if he was so smart and above the cloud that he was doing advanced mathematic equations on the back of napkins. But if you actually go into some of the videos of people that met with Epstein at the time, they said he was awfully unimpressive when it came to finance and markets and economics. And it's nothing new that if you're in the intel agencies, you want to try and get as much blackmail on powerful people as possible. Easy, not hard. And this is no longer just speculation. First of all, the evidence that shows that Epstein was a creation of either Mossad, Israeli intelligence, American intelligence, Saudi intelligence, or maybe he was just maybe he was just a guy that countries would go to and park a couple $100 million and say, hey, can you get one of the members of the royal family with a 13-year-old so we can get them to do what we want to do? Members of Congress are actively being blackmailed. The Epstein playbook is being used on a daily basis.
Owens also disclosed that a note implied someone close to Charlie had been deceiving him. She shared screenshots of his messages discussing Jewish donors pulling their support just days before his death.
So Charlie writes in this group chat, just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Somebody writes, oh. Charlie writes, Jewish donors play into all of the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. And somebody writes, donor writes, please do not invite Candace. That might feel good short term, but it's not good long term. In my opinion, like all groups, you're going to get a wide variety of opinions. That nasty free will thing that God bestowed on us makes life frustrating at times after the dust settles a bit, maybe. So again, this is 48 hours before Charlie was assassinated. He was very clear and he was very explicit, and he did not back down, not in that Hamptons meeting, which they're all lying about, nor in this text thread. I'm not going to reveal the names of the other 7. Actually, you know what? I disagree with myself.
The fallout from Rogan's words has only just begun. Fans, critics, and the media are all weighing in, dissecting every sentence, every tone, every pause. Some believe he exposed the truth. Others say he crossed a moral line that should never be crossed. But that's the power of Rogan. His voice divides, challenges, and forces people to take a stand. In the end, it's not just about Charlie Kirk's widow or one harsh comment. It's about how far we're willing to go in the name of honesty, and what happens when brutal truth meets public outrage.